You've spent a lifetime being told it was something to feel ashamed of, something dirty, something you should have left behind by the time you turned 50. But what if that one thing, masturbation, could actually protect your prostate, your heart, your hormones, even your independence after 60? What if the key to living longer, sleeping better, and feeling more like yourself again wasn't in another pill or doctor's visit, but in reconnecting with your own body in the privacy of your own home? For decades, men over 60 have suffered quietly, not from disease, but from silence, from shame, from myths passed down through generations. Dr. Mohit Kara, a leading urologist and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience, has seen this firsthand. He's treated thousands of older men who didn't realize their declining vitality, erectile issues, or loss of confidence had less to do with aging and more to do with disconnection from themselves. This video isn't about sex, it's about your health, your hormones, your happiness. Because when men stop touching themselves not for lust but for healing, they begin to lose far more than they ever imagined. Your testosterone, it dips faster, your prostate becomes congested and inflamed, your mental clarity begins to fade. According to a Harvard study, men who ejaculate regularly have a 20% lower risk of prostate cancer. This is science, not taboo. So here's the real question. If one simple daily habit could protect your mood, memory, and manhood, wouldn't you want to know what it is? If this helped open your eyes, like this video, subscribe to Live Healthy After 50, and share your thoughts below. Do you think men over 60 are still afraid to talk about this? Your answer might help another man find the courage to heal. Now let's uncover the 7 hidden truths older men were never told but desperately need to know before it's too late. Number 1, mindless masturbation rewires your nervous system. For decades, men have been told that masturbation is either harmless or shameful. But what no one warned you about is this: how you do it matters far more than how often. When self-pleasure becomes fast, mechanical, and disconnected from sensation or emotion, it begins to rewire your nervous system in dangerous ways. You may not notice it at first, but over time the body starts to forget how to feel. This kind of stimulation, rushed, repetitive, and often paired with screens, can slowly numb your sensitivity. Your brain begins to expect a specific pattern: same motion, same pressure, same intense visuals. And once it learns that pattern, it stops responding to anything else. This is what doctors now call porn-induced erectile dysfunction. It's real, it's growing, and most men don't know it's happening until it's too late. Alan, 66, from Ohio, came in quietly. He hadn't had sex in years and thought he was just past that stage. But when asked, he admitted he still masturbated almost daily, but never felt much. "I can't get there anymore without my phone," he said. What he didn't know was that years of quick, isolated, screen-based pleasure had trained his brain into dysfunction. His body wasn't broken, it was misconditioned. This kind of stimulation teaches the body to respond only to intense artificial triggers. As a result, natural touch, whether from yourself or a partner, feels dull, even frustrating. You start needing more pressure, more time, more tricks just to feel something. Over time, it leads to reduced erection quality, delayed ejaculation, or even complete anorgasmia, the inability to climax at all. Worse still, it affects more than your physical health. It seeps into your emotions. Men who once felt confident and connected begin to pull away. You stop initiating intimacy. You avoid being touched. You might even start feeling ashamed of your own body. This is not just about sex. This is about your mental health, your vitality, your sense of self. Studies have shown that frequent emotionally disconnected masturbation can lead to decreased dopamine sensitivity, the very chemical responsible for motivation, pleasure, and emotional balance. And when dopamine drops, so does your mood, your energy, and your resilience. This is where symptoms like anxiety, depression, and even early cognitive decline begin to appear. This is especially important as we age. The nervous system becomes less flexible. What you repeatedly do, especially when it comes to pleasure, hardwires into the brain faster and deeper. Staying healthy isn't just about what you eat or how you move. It's also about how you maintain connection with your body. And that includes sexual connection without shame, without rush, and without screens. Here's the truth: your nervous system can heal, but it needs new input. Gentle, intentional, connected self-touch can slowly reverse the damage. Over time, you can rebuild sensitivity, improve erection quality, and rediscover the pleasure you thought was gone. You can begin to feel again, not just physically, but emotionally. Mindless masturbation isn't just a habit, it's a silent trap. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to escape. But with awareness and practice, you can take back control not just of your body, but of your confidence, clarity, and connection. Number 2, not ejaculating can silently inflame the prostate. He thought it was just part of getting older. Waking up 5 or 6 times a night, that constant pressure deep in the pelvis, a dull ache that wouldn't go away. No fever, no clear signs of infection, just discomfort and exhaustion that seemed to come out of nowhere. At 68, Thomas from New Mexico had accepted it. His wife had passed 6 years earlier. He hadn't been sexually active since. He never thought that stopping sex or even stopping ejaculation could affect anything beyond his bedroom. But it was affecting everything: his sleep, his energy, his peace of mind. When he finally spoke with his doctor, he was shocked at the question. "When was the last time you ejaculated?" He paused, thinking. "Years ago," he said. Why would that matter? What Thomas didn't know is something most older men have never been taught. The prostate doesn't shut down with age. It keeps working. It keeps producing fluid. And if that fluid isn't released, it starts to build up, creating pressure, swelling, and silent inflammation inside the body. That buildup can cause real trouble: urinary urgency, a weak stream, dribbling, pain while peeing, or even while sitting. Many men chalk it up to aging or assume it's just an overactive bladder. But in truth, the system is backed up. And the longer it stays that way, the more serious the risks become. Your prostate isn't a storage tank. It was never designed to hold on to fluid for weeks, months, or years. When that fluid stagnates, it becomes a breeding ground for inflammation. And over time, that inflammation can damage tissues, irritate surrounding nerves, and contribute to long-term health issues. One of the most dangerous is the link to prostate cancer. A major study from Harvard, tracking nearly 30,000 men over many years, found that men who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer. That's not speculation. That's data. In fact, the men who kept their sexual systems active, regardless of age, showed better long-term prostate health overall. But the benefits go beyond cancer prevention. Regular ejaculation helps flush toxins, clear excess fluid, and reduce congestion in the reproductive system. It supports blood flow, it improves sleep, and it may even boost emotional well-being. For older adults seeking natural health solutions, this is one of the simplest and most overlooked senior home remedies. Thomas didn't need surgery. He didn't need another prescription. What he needed was reconnection, a quiet, shame-free return to his own body. Once he understood what was really going on, he began to change his habits. Slowly, gently, not out of lust but out of care. Within weeks, he noticed fewer nighttime interruptions. The ache in his pelvis eased. His sleep improved. And more importantly, he began to feel alive again. Longevity isn't just about avoiding disease. It's about staying in tune with your body's natural rhythms. For men over 60, ignoring the prostate is a mistake too many make. You wouldn't ignore your heart. You wouldn't ignore your blood pressure. So why ignore your reproductive health? Ejaculation, whether through partnered intimacy or solo care, isn't just a private matter. It's part of a whole-body approach to aging well. It's a natural, drug-free method of supporting the systems that keep you healthy from the inside out. There's no shame in maintaining your health, no guilt in giving your body what it needs to function properly. After all, taking care of yourself, even in the ways no one talks about, is one of the most powerful longevity tips you can follow after 60. Number 3, silent shame is the hidden killer of mind and body. He didn't talk about it, not with his friends, not even with his doctor at first. For nearly 10 years, he avoided any kind of intimate touch, including with himself. Not out of illness, not because of pain, but because somewhere along the way, he was taught it was something to be ashamed of. Roger, a retired math teacher from Illinois, was 72 when he walked into a clinic complaining of fatigue, high blood pressure, and nights spent tossing and turning. On the surface, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. No major health events, no medication issues, just a man slowly fading in silence. He wasn't depressed in the clinical sense, but something was missing. His voice was quiet, his shoulders stayed tense, his eyes rarely looked up. When the conversation gently turned toward intimacy, Roger flinched. That part of life is behind me, he said. But the heaviness in his tone revealed something deeper. It wasn't choice, it was guilt. A silent, lifelong belief that pleasure was wrong after a certain age. That kind of shame doesn't just live in the mind, it lives in the body. Research shows that chronic guilt and emotional suppression raise cortisol levels, the body's main stress hormone. Elevated cortisol can lead to high blood pressure, poor sleep, weight gain, and inflammation throughout the body. When left unaddressed, it becomes a breeding ground for disease. In Roger's case, the symptoms weren't from aging. They were from disconnect. Over time, his nervous system had downshifted. His body stopped releasing the feel-good hormones that come from gentle self-touch, oxytocin, dopamine, even melatonin. Without these, sleep becomes shallow, mood becomes dull, blood pressure creeps upward. The system starts to break down. For many older adults, this slow unraveling is mistaken for normal aging. But the truth is, the emotional weight of shame is one of the most underestimated threats to senior health. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's quiet. It hides beneath phrases like, "I'm too old for that now," or "That's just not me anymore." Healthy aging requires more than diet and exercise. It requires emotional connection. And that includes connection to your own body. Your skin still feels. Your heart still longs for closeness. Your mind still craves moments of softness and presence. When you deny those needs, you deny your biology. Roger didn't need pills to feel better. He needed permission, a simple invitation to reconnect with himself. His doctor encouraged him to take just 5 minutes a day. No expectations, no goals, just slow, kind attention to his body, touching his chest, breathing deeply, letting sensation return without shame. The change didn't happen overnight, but within weeks his sleep deepened. His blood pressure lowered. He began smiling more, laughing again. Even his posture shifted. He wasn't cured, he was reconnected. This isn't just Roger's story. It's the story of thousands of older men living with invisible grief for a part of themselves they thought they had to bury. But you don't have to bury it. You don't have to shut that door. Reclaiming your body at any age is one of the most powerful daily habits for longevity. It tells your nervous system, your heart, your spirit, "I'm still here, I still matter." And when that message becomes part of your routine, everything else begins to change. Not just your blood pressure or sleep, but your joy, your connection, your sense of being fully alive. Number 4, lack of sexual engagement speeds up testosterone decline. Many men think their testosterone drops simply because they're getting older, that it's just a number on the calendar. But science and experience say otherwise. One of the biggest reasons testosterone fades after 60 isn't age. It's the quiet decision to stop living like a man who still wants to feel alive. Your body listens to what you do. When you stop moving with energy, stop expressing desire, stop connecting with your own skin, your brain starts sending signals. It says, "We don't need this anymore." And your testosterone production responds by shutting down early. George, a 71-year-old widower from Colorado, had no idea why he was feeling weaker by the day. His voice had lost its power, his sleep was shallow, his belly was growing even though his eating habits hadn't changed. When his doctor checked his testosterone levels, they were barely above clinical deficiency. There was no disease, no trauma, just a slow, silent drift away from vitality. When asked about intimacy, George admitted something he hadn't said out loud in years. "I don't even think about that stuff anymore." But the truth was, he had stopped thinking about it because he stopped feeling it. He'd convinced himself that desire was something reserved for younger men, that pleasure and masculinity no longer belonged to him. This mindset is more dangerous than most realize. Research shows that testosterone production is tied directly to engagement, not just sexual activity with a partner, but solo touch, erotic thought, even anticipation. These signals tell your brain, "I'm still in the game." And in response, your body keeps hormone levels active to support you. When those signals stop, the opposite happens. Muscle mass decreases, belly fat increases, mood declines, motivation disappears, and eventually you stop feeling like yourself. Not because you're old, but because your body has gone into energy-saving mode. This isn't just about libido, it's about your metabolism, your confidence, your brain function. Low testosterone has been linked to heart disease, diabetes, and early cognitive decline. Maintaining healthy levels is not just a luxury, it's a key pillar of aging gracefully. George didn't need hormone therapy. He needed a shift in mindset. His doctor gave him a simple challenge: 10 minutes a day, quiet, mindful touch, no screens, no pressure, just reconnecting with his body, breathing, feeling, remembering that he was still here, still capable, still a man. Within 3 months, his hormone levels had risen. His voice sounded stronger. He was sleeping through the night. He even returned to a few old hobbies he had abandoned. What changed wasn't his age. What changed was his engagement with life. This is one of the most overlooked doctor tips for older adults. Staying sexually connected, even privately, keeps your endocrine system awake. It reminds your body that you still matter, that there is still energy worth investing. This is especially true for men focused on over 60 wellness. You don't have to chase your younger years, but you do have to stay connected to your present ones. There is a big difference between growing older and giving up. Your testosterone doesn't vanish on its own. It responds to the messages you send it. Movement, breath, touch, imagination. All of these are signals that you are still living, still loving, still worthy of strength. Number 5, losing erections isn't about age, it's about not using them. He hadn't had an erection in 5 years, not because he couldn't, but because he thought he didn't need to. After his wife passed, it just didn't seem important anymore. No one told him that ignoring that part of his body would come with a cost. Ron, a 74-year-old retired mechanic from Michigan, wasn't sick. He wasn't on any medications. But when he finally came in for a checkup, his doctor noticed something deeper than his quiet voice and slouched posture. His energy was flat. His confidence was gone. He admitted he hadn't had any kind of erection, not even morning ones, for years. He figured that was just what aging did. But the truth is, the male sexual system doesn't just stop because of age. It shuts down from disuse. Like any other muscle or vascular system in the body, if you stop using it, you start losing it. And once certain changes set in, they can be hard or even impossible to reverse. Blood stops flowing the way it used to. The smooth muscle tissue in the penis begins to shrink. Over time, tiny fibers stiffen. Scar tissue forms. Oxygen delivery drops. This process is called fibrosis, and it quietly damages the erection mechanism without you even knowing it's happening. Your body is smart. If something isn't being used, it stops prioritizing it. That includes blood flow, nerve signaling, and hormonal support. You don't feel less because you're older. You feel less because your body thinks that part of you isn't needed anymore. This is not about sex. This is about circulation. It's about preventing age-related decline in one of the most sensitive vascular systems in the body. Studies have shown that regular natural erections, even those not tied to arousal, are essential for maintaining healthy penile tissue. Without that, everything from sensitivity to performance begins to fade. Ron's doctor encouraged him to start small. He didn't need to perform, he just needed to wake the system up. A few minutes each day of gentle stimulation, not to reach a goal, but to remind the body, we still need this. After a few weeks, he began to notice changes. Slight fullness in the morning, more sensation, a shift in posture, a spark in the way he spoke. By 3 months, he had regained spontaneous erections. But more than that, he had regained himself. He walked taller, laughed louder, looked people in the eye again. Not because of vanity, but because he felt present in his body for the first time in years. For many older men, this is one of the simplest longevity tips that no one ever talks about. Keeping erections alive isn't just about performance. It's about keeping blood flowing to the brain, the heart, and everywhere in between. It's part of protecting your vascular health and preventing aging diseases that thrive in stagnation. You wouldn't let your legs atrophy from lack of use. So why would you let a vital part of your identity wither in silence? Your erection is a signal not just of function, but of life. When it disappears, so does a part of your confidence, your focus, your sense of wholeness. But that doesn't have to happen. You can take small steps each day to restore circulation, stimulate nerves, and remind your system that it's still needed. Number 6, modern pornography numbs the aging brain. At first, it felt like a harmless habit, a way to pass time, something private that didn't seem to hurt anyone. But what many men don't realize is that modern pornography has changed, and what it does to the aging brain is far more damaging than most care to admit. Today's porn isn't like it was 30 or 40 years ago. It's faster, louder, more extreme. With just a few clicks, you're bombarded with endless stimulation. and each scene releases a surge of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. At first it feels exciting, but over time the brain begins to dull in response. That's the problem. Too much dopamine too often desensitizes your pleasure system. Your brain starts demanding more stimulation just to feel the same level of arousal, and eventually it doesn't respond to real human interaction the same way anymore. Jerry, a 69-year-old divorcee from Nevada, noticed something troubling. He could still get aroused with porn, but felt nothing during real moments of intimacy. His touch felt flat. His body didn't respond the way it used to. He thought something was wrong with him. In truth, his brain had been rewired by years of high-speed digital stimulation. This is more common than you think, and it hits older adults harder. As we age, the brain becomes less adaptable. It takes longer to bounce back from overstimulation, which means the damage from constant porn use sets in faster and lasts longer. You may notice delayed response, less sensitivity, difficulty getting or maintaining arousal without visual help. This isn't about judgment, it's about brain chemistry. Modern porn floods your nervous system with artificial signals. The more you rely on those signals, the more your natural response fades. What used to be exciting, soft-touch emotional connection, even your imagination starts to feel boring. Too slow, not enough. That's why real intimacy becomes harder. Not because your partner has changed, not because your body has failed, but because your brain has adapted to a world that doesn't exist outside the screen. This isn't just a sexual problem, it affects memory, mood, and motivation. Dopamine plays a key role in how we focus, how we move, and how we enjoy life. When that system gets overloaded, it can lead to apathy, restlessness, even depression. These are not signs of aging, they are signs of overstimulation. If you care about natural health for seniors, this is something to take seriously. The overuse of digital content is not just a habit, it's a threat to emotional wellness and cognitive clarity. And if you're committed to over 60 wellness, cutting back or cutting it out completely may be one of the best decisions you can make for your brain. Jerry's doctor helped him try something different. No screens for 30 days. He focused on sensation, memory, imagination. It wasn't easy at first, but slowly his sensitivity returned. He started feeling again deeply and naturally. He even said his memory sharpened. His energy returned. And for the first time in years, intimacy felt real. You don't have to give up pleasure. You just have to reclaim it. Bring it back to your pace, your body, your breath. Give your brain space to reset and allow yourself to feel again, not through fantasy, but through presence. Number 7, losing physical touch means losing connection to life. He lived alone. His apartment was clean, quiet, and neat. He had routines: breakfast at 7, the news at 8, a short walk before lunch. But what Peter, a 76-year-old retired engineer from Virginia, didn't have was touch. Not a handshake, not a hug, not even his own hand on his chest. For over a year, his body had gone untouched. He didn't say it was sadness. He said it like it was simply how things were. I guess that part of life is behind me now. But under his steady voice, there was a weariness. His blood pressure had been climbing. His immune system was weaker. His memory had started to slip. He was forgetting names, struggling with focus, and no one had connected the dots. The human body is wired for touch. It's not a luxury, it's a need. From birth to old age, gentle physical contact signals safety to the nervous system. It lowers stress. It regulates heart rate. It stimulates oxytocin, the hormone that brings calm and connection. When touch disappears, the body starts to downshift. Slowly, quietly, sometimes permanently. Peter's doctor didn't prescribe more pills. He asked a simple question. When was the last time you touched yourself, not for hygiene, but just to feel connected? Peter looked confused. He hadn't thought of that as a form of healing, but it is. When you touch your own skin with intention, even if you live alone, you're sending a message to your nervous system. I'm still here. I still matter. That message changes everything. It lowers cortisol, it calms inflammation, it improves circulation, and over time it helps restore emotional resilience. Scientific studies confirm this. Seniors who receive regular touch through massage, physical therapy, or even self-applied pressure report lower anxiety, better sleep, and stronger immune function. It's one of the most overlooked senior home remedies available, and it doesn't cost a thing. Peter started with just 5 minutes each evening, placing his hand on his heart, then over his arms, his legs. He didn't force it. He didn't rush. He just breathed and allowed his body to feel itself again. Slowly, things began to shift. His blood pressure came down. His sleep improved. His thoughts became clearer. But more than that, his sense of self returned. He looked in the mirror and didn't look away. He stood taller, smiled easier. He reconnected not through romance or medication, but through presence. Aging gracefully isn't about avoiding wrinkles or pretending to be young. It's about staying in touch with your body, your breath, your humanity. When we stop touching, we start disappearing. Not all at once, but inch by inch. The mind pulls back, the heart grows quiet, the world feels farther away. You don't need someone else to remind your body it's alive. You can do that yourself. A warm hand, a soft breath, a gentle reminder. These are daily habits for longevity that go beyond diet and exercise. They speak to the emotional side of health, the soul side. If you've gone too long without physical connection, even from yourself, it's not too late. You can begin again, right now, right where you are. No shame, no explanation, just a quiet return to something you never should have lost. This isn't just a story about sex. It's a journey back to yourself. A reminder that your body, no matter the number on your birth certificate, still deserves attention, kindness, and connection. These 7 truths we've explored aren't medical secrets. They're invitations to feel, to heal, to remember that aging doesn't mean disappearing. You are not broken, you are not too late, and you are never alone. Start with just 10 minutes a day, a simple ritual we call the Golden Protocol. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, gently touch your body with presence and care. No rush, no goal, just a message whispered to your nervous system: I'm still here. I still matter. This small act done daily can help you live healthy after 50. It's one of the most powerful forms of natural health for seniors and a cornerstone of aging gracefully. If this touched something in you, like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to Live Healthy After 50, because your health is your greatest wealth.